Living for Texans program do for you? You can learn how to increase your consumption of fruits and vegetables, choose foods that are relatively inexpensive and good to eat, make your food dollars last longer, prepare quick, nutritious meals, help your children learn how to eat healthier snacks, and much more. Our program is committed to helping people like you improve your health through providing research-based nutrition education in a friendly, cost-free, and relaxed environment. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Hey, this is Jamie from Green River Ordnance. You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. I put on my Facebook what we were going to be talking about, and I don't know what happened. Either they found out we were going to bring it to the show and bring it up and make fun of it, and so they all dropped out. But on your Facebook, and maybe it's because I'm 75 and I'm a widow, and they targeted me. They knew if they could put these on there that I would fall for it. But I didn't. But boy, I loved looking at these pictures. These guys were just, these guys on Facebook were gorgeous, absolutely flawless, gorgeous. And they were about, I guess they were in their 30s and 40s. And they were complaining on there because some of them 40s and 50s, and they can't get a date because girls think they're too old. So they have a hard time getting a date, and their wives left them for somebody, younger, or they are just, I've never been married. Well, I don't have any children.
Were they trying to get you to contact them?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably a scam.
No, they weren't saying, "Hey, Cindy."
Well, no, they were saying, I'm lonely, message me.
Yeah, just message me.
Yeah, it's probably the AI, and then they get you.
Right.
I get those all the time.
You get those all the time?
Oh, yeah, from fake women all the time. It's pretty great. Especially on the phone, because there's always you could tell if it's trying to do a sweetheart scam, or if it's it's like, "Oh, hey Jody, had so much fun with you last week. I thought you were gonna call me back," and then it's "This isn't Jody," and it's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, and I appreciate you responding back. You seem nice."
You seem nice. Oh, that's great.
See, I would have a lot more fun with those if I knew it was a human being talking to me, because I would have fun with that.
Yeah.
But I know it's an auto text thing, so it's not fun.
Well, what's so stupid is that they don't realize when they text these things, because a couple of guys are Marines, and they would structure the text by saying, "Hi, my name is John Stover, and I am Marine, Army." They don't say I'm in the Marines or I'm in the Army.
I get you.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
So that that's somebody else doing it, and they're just trying to get you to open that up. And I wish it was where you could open it up and talk to somebody that is just, none of that is true. And those guys, how do you get those guys to do that, to act like that? They must be paid well to come on and do that. I wonder what country it comes from. But, oh my
North
goodness.
Korea.
No, I mean, these guys look very American. They're all
Yeah.
buff. They're all, you know,
They're
they
probably
do look like
they're probably
military.
models.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Hey, I'm a model. I need to get paid." And it's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we'll give you $400. Sit right there."
And just look in the camera, and we'll put a text up.
Yeah.
And then they must be embarrassed though once they see that text, because the text is really, you know,
Hey, you got paid.
you got paid, yeah. But
I mean,
anyway,
you're a model. Let's be real.
but I thought it looked like Facebook had gone to a dating site, becoming a dating site.
There is a dating site on Facebook.
There is?
Yeah. I don't really know how. I know on the phone, it's like an option. You can like opt in, and it changes.
Maybe I pushed the wrong
Let me
button.
see how to. I don't know how to do it on.
If you've ever had that happen, you can come on the Cindy Cochran Show page and comment, or you can comment on the Lone Star Community Radio page that we're showing this live, we're streaming live, and comment and say if that's bothered you. But you know, I certainly wasn't going to go to it and say, I want to remove this from my page and I want to report them. I would just say, like, can you give me their number? Let me call them.
Look at it, because you're lonely. That's how they get you.
Because I'm lonely.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
There's no way I could be lonely. I mean,
Well, they
there's no
always.
way.
But that's like It's weird how the social media people know what's going on in your life without you directly inputting it into the device.
Yeah.
Because it listens, so it knows you might be a widow, and it's just a crapshoot. They're like, oh, we got that this woman's a widow. Start sending her all these hot older dudes.
Yeah. Well, that was always what people would say.
Because now you're interested. Now you're thinking about going out there.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm
It's
not.
Well, you just said you wanted the kid's number.
No, I was just
Yeah,
kidding.
that would be great, Cindy. If you
I was just
started
kidding.
you started dating like a 50-year-old, that'd be great.
Somebody like Hoffy. Remember Hoffy?
Yeah.
He'd come in and go like, hey, Chad. Hey, Samantha,
I like
look.
it. I like it.
I want to introduce you to my
You should do
friend.
it. You should do it.
No. If I could get him to, it would be fun to get him to do a video and say, hey, Cindy, let's
I would
go
do
to-
that. I would pay somebody to take you out and make sure your family's around. I would love to watch that. Because I wanted to say I told you that story before where like I will never forget my grandfather started dating like a lady from Corpus Christi, and they knew each other through whatever foundations or whatever. And
Liver, did you say liver foundation?
like whatever foundations.
Oh, I thought you
'Cause,
said liver
my grandfather was a urologist, and he always donated money or volunteered or did stuff. So he had a network of people. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, like we always go to Galveston to see him. And my mom was just like so upset that he was pen pals with another woman because my grandmother passed away, and it was like 5 years later. And I was like, "Don't worry, Mom. It's like his last hurrah. Let the man live out his last hurrah days."
But when you were married 53 years.
Yeah, it
and
was.
When
It
somebody
was terrible.
when somebody dies, you go like, I just compare everybody to Sam. I mean,
Yeah, but I think eventually you'll get it to where it's like, you'll never forget Sam. You'll never be not connected to Sam. But comparing people in general is unfair.
well, like he was a hard act to follow. So
Yeah, but it's also, I imagine as you get older, it's about companionship instead of fulfillment. It's just.
well, I would think.
But you're also involved with a lot of people's lives right now, so it's not like you're alone.
I'm
Because
never.
a lot. Well, think about a
I'm
lot
never
of.
alone. Yeah.
Think about a lot of older people. It's just like they're alone, and it's like there you go. Especially if you're put in a home, like that to me is
Yeah.
wild. It's like, oh, we're going back to camp. Like, that's the way I would think about it. If my family's like, you need to go to the home, I'm like, well, I'm gonna look at this like camp, and I'm gonna have fun then.
Now,
Because
Sam wrote in his will that
you can't be in a home.
I cannot be put in a home.
I like how he's still making decisions for you, even in
I
the
know it.
afterlife.
I know it. This is funny.
Because he knows you. He's like, she's gonna have too much fun.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, that's what I just the idea of those, like how people handle, especially like as you age and people have different points in their life where, like, say they're retired and like we really don't have anything going on. Like, what do you want to do?
I can't. Hasn't my calling you and bothering you certainly slowed down since Sam died? I don't.
No, I think
call you as much.
well, it's more accidental now. You butt dial me all the time.
No, it's my fat thumb that
Yeah.
will go over and hit. And if you're anywhere near, I will do that. I hate that. And as soon as I do it, I go, oh, maybe I got it soon enough, and you didn't know that I did it. And so but you didn't answer anyway, so it doesn't matter, because I'll call back if it's important, But anyway, but you've been so sweet. But I know I bothered you a lot at calling and
Everyone
wanting
bothers me.
But since you've taken over the, booking,
Yeah.
isn't that better? Don't you like that better?
Yeah. I think you have more fun with it.
You think I would have more fun?
Well, yeah, because
No, I have more fun with it.
Yeah.
Yes, because
my favorite thing is you don't remember anyone's names.
right.
So right when you meet them, right then and there, you've already forgotten their name. It's true.
It's true. It's true.
And I always like watching you squirm like that. You're like, oh, I forgot his name.
In my brain, it's going like, who is this? Who is this? Can you tell when I get stuck on something?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, what do I do? It's just look on my face. You can just tell.
You try to talk about Fox News or something. Like it just completely
Remember
goes.
when I was on Johnny
Yeah.
Carson?
Yeah.
That's it. Well,
But I'm glad you're getting hit up by fake dudes. That's great.
it's not. Oh, did you hear what Zuckerberg said?
Yeah. I saw
That is, oh, I can't believe.
But I thought he already
confessed that.
admitted that a long time ago.
No, it was something else that he
Like
had,
especially during the COVID stuff. The COVID stuff was like heavily reported that there's an unclear line drawn where it's like what is asking somebody then also telling somebody.
Mm-hmm. But if the White House was pushing them hard,
Yeah.
and he got annoyed with it, but he said, but we got on our knees with them, and I shouldn't have ever done that, and I'm really
Well, also that
sorry.
I think that's a growing pain as a company like that because
Right.
it's kind of like that Telegram guy that got arrested in France.
Right.
It's kind of like that. Like you don't know how the governments are going to feel about you if it doesn't go their way, and some governments get mad about it, and they're like, "Hey,
But
we don't like
what-
you."
But what did he? But the fact that he's withdrawing any funds, he's not giving funds to any party,
Yeah.
and he's not
Which
going to
one?
mention
Are you
them.
talking about
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he said, I'm not going to be
Yeah,
donating.
there was a great interview about that. I forgot who he did it with, but he was talking about like he's not involved this time. And I'm
Was
like,
it Joe? Was it Joe Rogan?
No, it was somebody else, but he basically gives like, oh, what we did last time, it's just I don't like the way it worked out and how it was perceived because people thought we were, election interfering.
Yes. Well, duh. They repressed everything that could have changed the whole.
Yeah.
And see, and that's what Trump's got to be like, banging his head against the wall. Like, I can't believe. I kept telling everybody that's what's going on. That's happening, and nobody would believe us about Hunter's.
Everyone
his
loves that
computer.
laptop.
I wonder how many of those videos got out and shared.
I mean, I
and
wouldn't
everything.
worry too much about Joe Biden anymore. I feel like he's on vacation permanently,
Permanently.
Yeah.
He may not come back.
and not just mentally. I meant like physically. I don't think he's going to be around the White House.
Yeah. No, I think he may
He
may move way, way, way far away. He's got a lot of different.
I like it though. I
with
like
his
that
money.
idea.
It'd be funny. Somebody's got to be. He's got to have hired a cameraman and a producer and someone to follow him around to see what he's doing, because he's going to write a book, and then he's going to name names, and he'll finally get back at Barack.
No, that won't happen.
Oh, it will.
He already forgot what he was going to do today.
Well, it's true.
So
That's
for
good.
someone
That's
to
good
do that, they
plan.
got to have to kind of remember. Oh, hey.
Yeah. See,
And that's probably why they treated him that way, because they knew he's like, oh, he probably won't even understand like what we're really doing to him.
That's so funny. That was probably the funniest line that Trump did when he looked in the camera and went, I didn't understand a word he said, and I don't think he understood what he was saying either. That was just, that was great. It was pitiful. I mean, I think I felt sorry for him, and then I thought about all the things he did that were so...
I liked it.
That he hurt us. He hurt us.
It was great.
It is. Okay, I'm not going to talk about politics.
It was great.
What?
No, so that whole thing was great. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it? Did you enjoy the debate the best? Was that the best?
It was all right.
Didn't you feel sorry for him?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like someone doesn't know what he's doing. Like,
didn't.
he's the president of the United States. Clearly, people knew this was like, what's going on? Like, come on.
Well, that's what made everybody so mad.
It isn't like he overslept and he's like, oh, I'm not on my game today.
That's exactly what he said.
I mean,
he said, I just haven't had enough sleep. And
it's great.
But Kamala was in the room, always the last one in the room, and they asked her point blank, were you in the last one in the room when he made the decision about, getting out of Afghanistan? And she went, yes. And she said, and they asked her, are you comfortable with that? Yes. And so that just pinned her to that debacle, and like it was such a bad decision.
I mean, the unfortunate thing with the entire scenario is so many people are just getting tired of it. Even if Donald Trump is getting tired, people are getting tired of him already for the past 10 years, I feel like. But now it's just like, well, who cares? Like, the debates, if they are going to have debates between the two, it's going to be entertaining. That's all it's going to be.
I don't know if they are, because this is so funny, because she said, I want the mics on all the time. Okay, so he said, well, no, that's not what I agreed to. I mean, y'all muted the person that wasn't talking. You muted him, and I think that worked out okay. And then she says, no, I want the mics on all the time, because he's such a liar and he interrupts so much.
Oh, do it.
So she can look at him and go like, I haven't finished speaking. Like she didn't, her.
No, I mean, I think if I was Donald Trump, I'd be like, I'm game. I'm game for whatever.
Yeah. That's.
You want me to do it shirtless? I'll do it shirtless.
No, he cannot let her get out of it. He's, whatever she says she wants. Now she wants notes. She wants to have notes there, and that.
I mean, there's so many little reports that you could say yes or no, but it's like if I was him, I'd be like, whatever, you do whatever you want. You could literally speak from a computer. I don't care.
Yeah. If you want to do a Zoom.
Yeah, if you want to do Zoom, I'll be there. Like.
Well, do the Zoom, because all he has to do is just turn back to the camera and ignore whatever she says to him, and he keeps talking. So day one, this is what I'm going to do, and just keep talking to people about what it is
if they actually do it.
But she's just done some really strange things, like saying, and I'm going to, we're taking the tax away from those tips.
I like it. I like where Trump was talking about abortion, saying like, I'd veto. Basically, saying he'd probably veto a bill that banned abortion
federally. Like the federal law. No, he did. He said that's all a state. Let the states handle it.
I like that.
I love. That was really smart. That was like the wisdom of when in the Bible about when the king. Two women were fighting over this child, and said it was hers, and the other one said she
split him in half.
He said,
cut the baby in half.
Cut the baby in half, then, and we can do it that way. That was so brilliant. I'm so glad that story was told, because it is. There's some things that you could say that makes people feel really stupid about a decision they want to make.
That's whatever.
Because they think it's really important. But I think that was, and so whenever the woman said, okay, you can have the baby, then he knew who the baby was, so he gave it to her. It's because if she had said, no, you can't do that, okay, go ahead.
I can see both sides. I still cut it in half.
Well, you spoke too late.
I'd do it right then and there. I wouldn't let anyone argue. I was like, cut the baby in half. And everyone would be like, what? I'm like, you're the one that wants this.
Richard.
You gotta be
sometimes
a warlord in those days.
Stuff.
You gotta be a warlord.
Well, sure, but sometimes, Richard, when you say stuff, you go, like, I know you don't believe that. You just like to stir the pot, don't you?
Well, I've
Yes,
had
you
people
do.
complaining to me about that kind of stuff. I'm like, here you go, let's do it.
Yeah, but you don't really believe that. Because you don't want people to think that you're that cold-hearted and that.
Well, if you're a leader, you have to make hard decisions.
Yes, that's true. That's a
so
good point.
again, like, this is what you got to do.
Yes, but can you disengage yourself from the humanity
Yeah.
enough to where you can?
Well,
go,
I mean,
like, don't
realistically, if
care.
I was sitting there as two women, I'd be like, who can still have babies? And like, if they both raise their hands, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna give this baby to someone else because y'all don't deserve it, and y'all can have your own babies. Go do your own babies. Try not to sleep with the same guy like last time. Let's just not do that. Maybe not.
I love when Jesus was at the well with this woman, and she was talking to him. She says, "How are you talking to me? Because I'm not Jewish, and you're talking to me." And he says, "Yeah."
Well, you wanted some water.
Because I can give you water that will last forever. There's
No, he just
eternal
wanted water, and she
I
was the
know
one
it.
closest to it.
I know it, and but he said,
Don't make everything
later
a
on-
parable. just give me some water.
On, he later on he talks about what he has to offer is something that will be eternal. But anyway, what she said, but he said, because you've been married 5 times, and
Yeah.
the one that you're with is not even your husband. And so that was kind of striking because, I mean, that kind of told a little bit about what was going on in that
People get
part of the world.
move on.
You know, we were so strict. We were brought up very strict.
Yeah.
In compared to whatever all our friends were doing, and we didn't go
Compare it,
dance.
yeah.
We didn't go to dances, and we didn't go mixed bathing. And I always thought that was such a weird thing to say, mixed bathing. And it was like going, the boys and the girls.
I always
going
enjoy
to the
those
pool
scenarios
together.
because there's always that one person who's such a stickler for rules.
Uh-huh.
And so when they like something gets broken, like a rule gets broken, like I'm just waiting. I'm like waiting for who's going to be the one that stands up. who's the one that's going to call this heresy stuff out? There's a guy and a girl in the same pool.
Right. And it's and no dancing. The dancing and that was a big thing for us. It's just because all your friends got to go to the dances. I didn't go to a prom because you know. But Corky, the boy that I'd gone with for like 4
That's
years,
a hell of a name.
his name's Carl,
Oh.
but his
Corky.
Corky. He asked a cheerleader to go with him to the prom. It was my boyfriend, and so he asked this other girl to go to the prom with him. That really upset me. That was just, I thought, so wrong. But
I realized early on with the prom stuff, it's like, hey, who cares? Like, just go if you want to have fun.
go with your buddies and
Or just go
As they
and
might.
just hang out with whoever you want to hang out with there. You don't have to like put everything an emphasis on a date.
right. That's right. Especially for girls. Look at all the stuff you have to do and go.
I mean, I
through.
did that. I think my junior year, one girl she wanted, like, we were friends, and she goes, "You want to go together?" I'm like, "Sure." Like, do you want to do all the whole thing, or like, can we just go? And she's like, "Well, I kind of want to do the pictures and the." I'm like, "All right, I'll do that."
And a corsage. Did
Yeah,
you
I'll
do
get you.
a
I'll
corsage?
do all that stuff. I'll do all that stuff.
You did?
Yeah.
So you went to it. That's
Yeah, but it wasn't like I was. If I didn't get this one person, or if this wasn't right, I'm like, it's whatever you want. Like, you're my friend. I want you. If you feel
Was
left
that in high
out-
school?
Yeah.
Weren't you going to? No, you didn't. Where'd you go to high school?
Northland Christian. It was Church of Christ. They allowed some dancing. You
They
You
did?
couldn't be really close to each other. Yeah.
Oh,
They
my
broke the rules
word.
all the time.
Wow, that was really a progressive church.
Oh yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, no, they had everything else. I mean, I had a teacher call me a bastard because I'm my mom's second husband, child from the second marriage.
Oh,
So he was pretty hardcore. I like that.
oh no. Are they still alive?
Oh, I have no idea. I kind of laughed it
That's-
off. I was like, "Are you really calling me a bastard right now?" And he's like, "Well, that's the way the Bible teaches it." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm a bastard."
Oh, great.
But yeah, they always have that. And there's always some fanatics in every world, or
Well,
so. And those are my favorite people because it's like, okay, what's he gonna say? What's she gonna say next?
oh man, Did y'all ever get in arguments?
With that particular guy, the only thing that sucked about him was because they wouldn't promote me in the basketball on the basketball team, and I was clearly better than most. I should have been on the A squad, and that's when the word was said, like, the reason I'm not on the team is because I'm a bastard, and he didn't want bastards on the team, and that's where it all started. Yeah, and my mom got so mad about that. And I like playing basketball, but I also like playing against good people. So
yeah,
I was always a big competitor.
That is so sad. I think I've never made a teacher mad. I was always a very good, sweet, kind, quiet. I wasn't talking a lot and all that. But this teacher got up and said, "Okay, so we know what today is. This is, tomorrow is going to be Jesus' birthday, and because that's when he was born. It was on December 25th. And I raised my hand and I said, "Oh, we don't know that because the shepherds wouldn't have been out at that time. It'd been probably more like April." And she goes, "What did you just say?" And I said, "Well, that's a history thing. The shepherds usually wouldn't have been out during that time." And so it was probably April, and he probably was about 2 years old by the time they got there. And so he wasn't a baby in a manger or anything. It was probably
Who knows?
It got there. And so
We don't even know if that's the right baby. We don't even know.
She got so mad she walked out of the room. She was just so frustrated. She couldn't believe that I just said all those things in front of all those people. And she got up and just left the room. And and I thought, yeah, I was just trying to tell the truth, what I'd learned. And because I would call, my brother-in-law he was a doctorate in theology, and so I'd call him for, "All right, tell me what this means, and why did they do this?" and all that. And it was great to have somebody that you could that studied it and has a different, he had a lot wider view than just a lot of the people that.
That's why I like Jewish people.
Why?
Because their baseline is a conversation or an argument. When they talk about religion and politics, it's like it's set up. They set it up to where you challenge everything.
They set it up so that
so it's not like
us.
because if you go to certain religious like for example Catholicism, Catholicism is the most boring religion if you're not involved, because you're just you just sit there, and then they literally give you everything you have to read, and it's like you recite this, you do this, you kneel, get up, this is how you pray, this is the prayer you say. This is what you do for the next 2 hours. To me, that's boring. And it's this is really teaching me a lot right now, guys. And I know synagogues and stuff have the same kind of routine, but there's also the church discussion. When you talk to every Jewish person I talk to, you can talk about whatever you want because they understand that it's part of the journey of the search for truth.
That's good.
So I dig that.
Well, when I was going to church, and I was very adamant about and very dogmatic about just about everything. And so but I wanted to study everybody else's religion, so I had an understanding of whatever I would say something, or we would have an argument. And it was great because I would question the teachers in the classes, and they'd see me coming in and say, "Are you in my class this year?" "Oh, Cindy, please, you don't have to say something about everything I
want to
say.
I read recently there was it might have been in California, but there's a church of the psychedelic mushrooms or something like that, and that's how they got around being able to just take mushrooms, because they're considered a church and it's part of their practice. Because I want to say a way back, maybe 100 years ago, there was a Native American tribe that did peyote or something, and peyote was a legal substance, but they got it to where they could do it because it's part of their religious practice. So someone here now, recently, said "Oh, well, mushrooms are part of our congregation," but now I think they're getting in trouble. I don't know. Maybe they grew too big. I don't know.
Well, maybe were they taking them for communion?
Well, it's part of their religion, so they just taking mushrooms. I don't know, but I just like it. It's
they grow them in the back.
Who cares where they grow them?
I never understood that. I never understood how you know what mushrooms are the
Which-
white mushrooms.
Well, I mean, it's
the
kind of like
dark
berries too. Like, there's certain people that study that stuff. Because I always love that. Like, every show you see or whatever, it's like, don't eat berries. You know, it's like when you're out in the wild, like never eat berries because they're all they either kill you or like they're the good kind. But do you want to 50-50 that? And then,
With the mushrooms.
but no, mushrooms are the same thing. Like, especially cooks, like they know all types of mushrooms and where they grow, how they grow, what they need to grow. Same thing with plants. Some people, that's what they study.
Well, we found that this big mushroom in the back of our yard in Willis, and I went out and I went, this looks like an old man's face. There's the eyes and there's the nose and this is so weird. So the next day I came out and it was starting to shrivel, so it really looked like an old guy's face. And the next day it was shriveled even more, and it was angry, like the mouth was all down, like he was mad. I had so much fun with that mushroom because how it changed, and I've got pictures of it. I have to show you sometime. It's cool.
Yeah, funguses
Nature
are
is
neat.
cool. Fungus is good. But the ones that you smoke are the ones that you eat.
I don't know. Yeah, you can eat all the mushrooms or not. I think there's some poisonous ones too.
Yeah. That's
So
what I mean.
again,
It's-
it's like 50-50. Like, well, it looks like a portobello mushroom. Maybe,
they're doing a documentary on the guy that
Let's- well-
came up with fentanyl.
well, that's one thing I was thinking. Like, there is an apocalyptic scenario. How many books I would need to like carry with me and be like, is this a good berry? Let me look. That looks like maybe. All right, that's a maybe. Put
No.
that in the maybe basket, and we'll bring it back to camp.
And now you can do it with a
Well, no, this
with
is a
phone.
pop. This is when there
apocalypse.
isn't any tech, so you have to carry the entire encyclopedia wherever you go, and that's actually what the major currency will be. Is the most recent encyclopedia will be the most valuable.
Yeah.
Because if you get one from
So-
the '60s, I mean, there's a lot wrong.
A lot of things they probably evolved from. That's what kills me about people who say, well, I'm just evolving. It's not, I'm not there yet. And that's what I think Kamala Harris is going to be talking about in the debate
I don't know. Who knows?
with Donald. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be great because she's never sat down for an interview.
Well, no, that's their. Hasn't that been their strategy for like the last 6 years?
Yeah, the whole
Like,
just
just don't talk to anybody, dude.
don't talk to anybody. That's and some of the people
Make some social media
Listen,
posts.
yeah.
That's all you need to do. I like it. I mean,
Just
and
don't
she's going
talk
to
to anybody.
rallies. She's doing stuff. She's talking to the people.
Yeah, and that's they said she's out there talking to the people
Yeah,
instead
why
of
not?
talking to some anchor. She's talking to the people, and I go, yeah, but they can't talk back to they
Oh,
they
no,
can't
it's
talk
gonna be
back
great.
or ask
It's gonna
questions.
be great. It's gonna be great.
I think it's going to be extremely entertaining. That's why tomorrow we're going to have Don Wilson on the
Yeah.
show, and in the first year in 2016, he and I were both on the phone talking all through the election because we both wanted, certain person to win. And so he had like a quart of Jim Beam or something. And he was
Quart.
not a quart, not a quart.
Quart of Jim
I
Beam.
mean, he had a bottle of
That's
Jim.
a little bit.
He had a bottle of Jim Beam, and so he was saying, okay, if he gets this one, I'm gonna take a drink and stuff. And
I
now,
like it.
I wasn't
I like
drinking,
it.
but it was funny because
You were
he
doing
said-
your pills. That's
Yeah, I
that's-
was- No, I wasn't. I was trying to. I was so
Yeah, sure.
nervous and so like uptight about this what was going to happen.
Oh, man.
And because it would, in fact, when he won, I didn't even know. I couldn't understand that that's what they're saying. He has 270 electoral votes, so
Yeah.
he wins.
It happened. Was it exciting? Was it everything you
It
wanted
was
it to be?
everything I want. And then to show all those people that had fall down on their knees and they're
No.
going,
Everyone lived. What
They
a
were so mad.
surprise.
yes, it was. And we all got, we got through it, except the pandemic came and
It did come, didn't it?
yeah.
And then it went.
Right in the middle.
And then it went.
And all the stuff that we we did. And we got, you know, when you look back on the time, you didn't wear a mask, though. You never wore a mask.
I did as much as possible to get away with anything I wanted to. That was my mindset. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to get away with whatever I can try to get away with. Because no one knows anything.
Well,
and you can easily lie. So it's like, oh, you forgot your mask. Oh, man. Oh, it's in my car. I'll go get it. I'm sorry. And you're like, you're easily out. You mean, come on.
Well, what I couldn't believe is that it would make you couldn't breathe, and I couldn't breathe.
Well, you're wearing the wrong mask then. You're not supposed to hold your breath.
No, I'm talking about it was so hard to breathe, and I just hated it. And I go down the aisles.
Well, see what I like about that stuff is no one knew, like in a sense, the true science behind what masks work. So like you see people with bandanas, and
right.
So depending on where you are, like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then you see people with like motorcycle helmets on, and you're like, that should be fine, right? Like I remember I was reading somebody try to wear a motorcycle helmet on the airplane.
No,
because he didn't want to carry it on because like he like was traveling, he was gonna go biking or something, and like he tried to like say like, this is my mask. Or something ridiculous like that. And I was like, I like that guy. And then, but then you had like the simple cloth mask that you wear, you know, going into like a morgue.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, that's fine too.
I love the ones that had the
visor. The visor was great.
Mask. I thought those were wonderful. And then people goes, you know, that's not working because it can all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's an expert on it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if that works, then can I just put my shirt like that? And
now I've gone. I went in the store a lot of times like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great time because I never wore a mask. I was just kind of like, whatever. Like, you're really gonna make me wear a mask right now?
Well, you won't. You can't get in without a mask. You couldn't get in.
I never had that problem.
Well, you never went anywhere, I guess.
No, I did.
You would walk into places without a mask.
No, I have that look. You know, people look at me and they're like, "That guy's okay."
No, but they'd have signs up.
Yeah,
you know,
that
you
guy's
have to
okay.
wear a mask.
That guy's okay.
And well, I guess you have that magical, touch that you just. If I just walk in and do it with authority and quickly, nobody's going to question me.
Yeah. I look important.
Yeah.
Or I look homeless. So either they're both ways. They're afraid. They're afraid. He's gonna bite me if I talk to this guy.
It was
no. I don't think I ever ran. I don't remember really running into that problem. Maybe okay. I lied. There was one time because I accidentally went into the wrong door, and it was a hospital, and I didn't know it was a hospital.
Oh.
I was getting my moles checked out.
Yeah.
And apparently on the first floor of the building in Montgomery is like an actual clinic that's not part of the dermatologist I see. Mm-hmm. And I was just, they moved to this location, so I was like, all right, and I didn't know exactly where it was, so I just went into the first door. And right when I walked in, it was clearly like a hospital or like a little clinic, and this lady's like, sir? And I'm like, what? It's like, you don't have a mask. I'm like, well, first, is this where Dr. So-and-so is? No, well, then I'm good. And then I walked out.
And you walked out?
I was like, if it's not here, I'm good.
Well, finally they realized we need to have the mask for them. We'll offer the mask to them instead of wait for somebody to come in without a mask and then throw them out. So everybody started providing masks. Because remember, like the shortage trying to find masks and the N95 mask and all that, trying to get the right kind. And
that's why I like being here. I'm glad I was in Montgomery County for that. Because I can't imagine being like in LA.
Oh man.
Especially when they're like they enforce that social distancing thing like to a T.
Yeah.
So like if you go anywhere, like walking down the street, you have to be 6 feet apart or whatever. like I can't imagine being in New York where everyone has to walk next to each other. Like that's the kind of wild stuff. Because you know that one stickler's like, that's 4 feet. That is 4 feet. And
you remember, like it, and if anybody sneezes, this is how far it will travel. And they'd have animation and all that. And I was in an aisle at a grocery store, and somebody went, "Achoo!"
Like I bet if I really wanted to go for it next time, I'll just smoke a cigar wherever I go. And then
smoke it.
And they'll be like, "Sir, there's no smoke." I'm like, well, it's killing COVID.
Right.
So,
It's
do you
proven.
want COVID to live?
Right.
Then let me smoke my cigar while I shop.
I'm trying to help y'all out.
That'd be great. Because no one knows. That's what's so funny about it.
No.
No one really knows. It's like, okay. We got to put that I'm smoking a cigar, man. I can't put a mask on when I'm trying to kill COVID.
These were specially made.
Yeah.
With the special, the medication in this is going to help kill it. So let me just go through here. That's what is funny is because the people that would try and walk in Kroger without mask, they would be turned around and they would be handed, here, you can buy this mask, and they would try and do that. But,
And then you try to return it.
yeah,
That's the best.
Yeah.
I got the receipt right here. I didn't return that.
right.
Well, I think the biggest travesty, in my opinion, for that whole scenario was for a long time, you couldn't see your loved ones who were dying.
Oh, that was horrible.
Like, that would be bizarro world. Because if my dad was in the hospital for, I don't know, 4 weeks, like in the ICU and stuff, and I slept over there, I was there, and I was like, if anyone told me I couldn't be here, you're crazy, dude.
What would you do? Would you put on a nurse's, like a male
I'd make it
nurse's
work.
uniform?
I'd make it work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be stupid about it. I wouldn't yell at people
Yeah.
because that's stupid to do. But you can get your way. It's gotta work it in.
If you just gonna get confident enough. I'm telling you.
You bring cookies. You bring the floor cookies all the time. That kind of thing. And it's just let
But
the
the
men,
poor
let
nurses.
let a son see his father for the last time.
I remember them looking through the window, and the doctor was one to.
Well, what's great about this
kid.
scenario is because
Oh.
you have no control, and it's that classic "we'll call you" scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's applied to, this is your parent, your mom or dad or child, or it's like they're dying or they're sick, and it's like, we'll call you though to let you know.
That was.
I like it. I mean, that's crazy. That was
That
wild
is.
to me. The stories I hear about that, I'm like, ooh, that's whoever made that decision needs to rethink that.
See, just think we're talking about it like it's so far in the past.
Like, can you imagine, your dad falling ill, going to the ICU, and the last time you saw him was at the house when he fell, and then literally they'll just email you or call you, and the next time you see him, he's in a box ashes,
Yeah.
because you weren't allowed to see him at all during that time,
Right.
and you're like, I would be, I would. I'd be like, can I take him out and let him die at home?
Well,
They probably say no
I
because
told you my dad willed his body to have it cremated at the UTMB in Galveston.
yeah,
And that was when that guy
he
was
willed it
found
himself.
out. No, in his will, he said,
Oh, I thought you meant he wheeled.
"Oh,
Like he was dying. He's like, hey, I got to get to this place because they take off $125 if I transport myself instead of getting their services.
he just thought this was the greatest thing to stick it to the man. Like I'm not gonna no funeral. I don't want any
Yeah,
funeral.
I like
anything."
it.
So he did that, and then it was at the time that we didn't know that the head of the UTMB,
yeah.
in the hospital there, was selling parts of bodies that when they died,
Oh,
he's selling
sweet.
parts instead of.
Really?
And so you never knew
So there's the
who
cigarette
was
ashes.
burned.
There
and
was
so we get a call
this
from a
cutting the baby in half
clergyman.
thing again.
No, we get a call from the clergyman and saying, they've shipped your husband's body to you in the urn, but here's the deal: is that we don't know if that's your husband or not, because.
But would you really care? I wouldn't really care. I mean, it's already passed.
But here's
That's
they're trying to they're doing it. They're selling their body
no, I get
parts.
that. That
and
was
then-
legal. I get that.
And then they're taking torsos or whatever they're doing with
They're taking whole torsos.
the whole torsos. And they're saying, and they're dividing up here. Send that to Miss So and So, and
Yeah, I
send
get
this
it.
to Miss, and then then when it got exposed that this guy was doing this, then they had to start
Calling people.
calling people
yeah.
saying, we don't know if that's him or not. My mom was so mad. I was too.
Well, how did they counter that? Did they like, hey, bringing the ashes in, we'll DNA test
If you
them?
don't want them, you can send them back.
And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, the people at Yellowstone National Park are breathing them in right now because that's where we dumped them.
Yeah.
So they're breathing them in.
So we don't know where your husband wanted his ashes spread, and so my mom, we get a lawyer, and this lawyer is going through all of this, and he said, how much do you want? And she said $200,000.
Oh, she already knew. I like your mom already.
Yeah, she's just like, I want
You gotta
$200,000.
set the goal high.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And so he said, okay. And so he starts the ball rolling. And a judge comes down and judges that UTMB is exempt from any kind of lawsuit. And
I believe it.
because it wasn't UTMB's policy. This was this guy who was, doing this. And so if you're going to sue anybody, you're going to have to go
Sue the
sue
doctor.
him.
Yeah.
And so
Dr. Mangala. Or
he had
whatever.
a drug Mangala. That's good. But it was just so sad because then we didn't have any
Well,
idea what
what's
happened.
so bizarre to me about that is UTMB found out, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, they had that boardroom meeting. It's like, do we just not tell them? Like,
Yeah.
really, they have the ashes.
They're not going to recognize him
Yeah,
anyway.
they have the ashes. Who cares? I wouldn't have said anything. I'd be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
You should have never told me. I just because she was gonna spread his ashes where he told her he wanted.
Because I
them
wouldn't feel
spread.
comfortable telling you that without offering some peace of mind of like a conclusion to it.
Yeah,
Because leaving it open, that could be your dad.
yeah.
But there's really no way of knowing.
We just have no idea if it's all your dad.
We have no way of knowing.
Yeah.
So it's just like we're just.
I mean, it's the word. I'd say, shut up. Just shut.
Well, that's what I'm
shut.
saying.
Don't
Like-
tell me anything else. You're making it worse. You just
because that's like them asking you to sue them.
yeah.
Because it's like, why would you tell me this without like trying to come up with another thing to help make it better?
Well, I have the urn of Sam's ashes and my mom's ashes up on
Yeah.
our fireplace. At our
Do you
fireplace.
talk to them?
I do. Yeah.
I believe it.
And I do, and I'll and whenever we got them, we had this jewelry that you could put the ashes in.
Okay.
That jewelry.
Kind of
James
like
Avery.
like the Billy Bob Thornton thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blood and
Yeah.
no.
I get you.
James Avery has these pieces of jewelry. They're really pretty, but you have to put the ashes in the jewelry.
They don't want you to do that.
Now I know this heart's about like this big, and so then you have to take the ashes out. I couldn't watch them do this. I couldn't watch them take off the top of there and put the because it was just weird. It's just weird.
That's weird to have though. It's like when someone knocks it over.
Well, his mom and dad both had their ashes buried together at this place where he grew up, and I'd ask Sam, "Is that where you want to have your ashes?" And he says, "No, just wherever you're going to go. It's going to be."
See, open ended. Keep it simple. I like
Yeah,
it.
and because for a long time I thought, would that be religiously wrong? Nothing was ever said about don't have your body burned except in hell. You don't want your body to burn up in hell, but
Yeah, it depends on what version you're reading.
no, but I mean, it was never stated, and I realized, there's a lot of people that die in car wrecks that are burned up, and it doesn't affect their soul or
Yeah, they're
anything
going to
like
hell.
that. No, it doesn't affect their soul. That's the point. Is that your soul leaves the body, and and that's the one that lives.
So why hold on to the ashes then?
Because it's the last thing that they left here. It was just.
But after that conversation with UTMB, how can you trust anything? I wouldn't feel. I'd be like, wait, I'm gonna do it myself.
No, because when the body was taken to this mortuary,
Yeah.
and I went and it's sad. I've never done that. It was so strange, and
It
so
is.
they're talking to me about him, and he came in and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and it's just so much more information than you ever would want to even have.
Well, that might be like a strategy just to make you feel more comfortable because they're like, don't let her talk, don't let her even think, just overload her with information because, because I imagine people lose their minds there.
Oh,
And
don't you
so yeah,
know?
you just overload the person who's with grief, and hopefully they don't talk.
But a funeral costs about 10 to 15,000 or something like that, right? And then
I don't know.
And then, but when you're cremated, it was like a couple of thousand. It's like the very
Depends on where you go. You got to shop around.
I didn't shop around. I just now Sam would have. Sam would probably.
You didn't go back to UTMB?
No,
No, you left a bad Yelp review on that one?
no.
Never again.
No, I told everybody don't ever go to UTMB. But I wasn't a good spokesman for them. But anyway, so tomorrow we've got Don Wilson is going to be here, and Don is our Elvis connection. And there's so many different things that on the internet and all, and he has done a lot of interviews trying to explain to people that he saw Elvis. He knows that he was dead. He knows that he's gone. He's not somewhere living, at this place, and he's preaching and singing. So anyway, he's got a lot of good stories, lots of good stories. And so that's going to be fun tomorrow. We'll have Don Wilson with us. And so you guys join us tomorrow, 2 to 3, and make your comments and whatever else you want to say. We love the comments. First responders, we love you and we admire you and we really do respect you. Thank you so much. All right, call somebody you love, all right?
Every week, people ask the same 2 questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these 2 questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, 1-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.